Hello, I'm back with another process video for Project Life 2022. This is week 3 and I'm using the Begin Story Kit from Ali Edwards. This one's going to come together really quickly, partially because prior to filming I had printed and cropped all of my photos, and also because I'm just working with a kit. When I'm pulling directly from a kit and not from other pieces from my stash, it just tends to come together much more quickly because I have limited supplies and everything coordinates. I decided to use that card that says, let's get this party started as a backer for that piece of ephemera I had. I could potentially save the card for when there's a party, but I have so many things in my stash. I want to try to use up supplies while they're in front of me. And, so I'm just going to stick it there. And I have the digital if I ever really need that card again. I also had a piece of ephemera I had saved from when I took my car in for a checkup appointment. So I had just cropped that down because I thought it was kind of neat looking. I have my Begin Story Kit in this tray here. I keep these trays for my most recent story kits. And I was just going through there to see what embellishments and things were in the kit. It came with a set of labels that have numbers on them, but it also had a few that don't have numbers. So I'm using one on this title card to add my dates with my rolling date stamp. And then I'm going to add one of the chipboard pieces in the middle there. These chipboard pieces are thinner than the older kits and they don't have adhesive on them. I kind of like that they are thinner and don't have adhesive. The only thing I'm not a fan of is that they fall out of the backer. And I use the backers to store my unused chipboard in. So this is really going to push me to try to crush these kits so that I don't have that in my stash because I don't have a method of organizing them with them falling out of the backers. I use that card right there to document my daughter getting her driver's permit this week. So this kit was perfect for this week because she began driving. And you can see that photo of her and my husband at the top there. That was the first time that she went to drive. And I used that card that has 3 spots for 3 steps in something to tell the story of her permit because it was a 3-step process. First, she took the permit test. Then we went to the DMV and submitted the paperwork, and then she went and drove for the first time, all during this week. So it was perfect for this week. I also added, you can see one of the word phrase strips and a chipboard piece on 2 of my 3x4 cards, and then I'm working on my journaling here. So I used the Magic of Beginnings and this A Story card on the spread because I liked that they coordinated with each other, and I really like to use those themed cards like that across the spread. I used this one to tell the story of a date night that my husband and I went on. I think it was Saturday or maybe Sunday night. And then I'm using this one for 3 stories here of 3 things that were going on this week. It was a pretty busy week and I had a lot of stories to tell. It was actually a very busy week. I got pretty burned out this week because I had just different things going on every day, a lot of appointments and friend events in addition to work. So I just kind of told that story there. And then, I always like to have a card with bullet points with a few smaller stories from the week. I ended up using the Magic of Beginnings card for that, even though the sentiment doesn't really fit. I fit a couple of the items I included, but you know what? I'm okay with it. I thought that the sentiment kind of just goes for the fact that it's the beginning of the year, and that works. So then I wanted to embellish some of my photos, and the kit came with these fabric circles, so I decided to add them onto 3 photos. And you can see I rearranged the photos so that they were on photos that were not next to each other. And then I decided they needed something a little bit more, so I went into my stash of vellum and I decided to punch out some circles in vellum that kind of coordinate with the kit. It's sort of a pink color, and I decided to do them to go behind these fabric circles to kind of mount them on, and that would allow me to kind of have this uniform embellishment cluster across the spread and to have it kind of going off the edge without worrying about cutting through the fabric. And then I added a staple with my tiny attacher just to add a little bit of additional texture. I tend to do that a lot when I'm doing these embellishment clusters because I feel like it looks more grounded when I either add a staple or some stitching to my spread. And then this one up here was a photo of the snow over the plaza in our downtown where we went out for our date night. I was kind of frustrated this week because I did so many things with friends and we went on a date night and all of this, but I didn't take very many photos. I kind of forgot to take photos. So that was the only photo I got from our date night, just of the snow. So I decided that I would just add it up there on the top card with an embellishment cluster and call it a day. And I really just used the journaling to tell my stories this week instead. And thankfully I had a few photos, especially of my daughter driving and me wearing that ridiculous mask that my office decided to provide to me. So I decided that I wanted a little bit more of an embellishment as I was slipping the cards into the pockets. So I went and grabbed another word phrase strips sheet from my stash that coordinated and added some onto that photo there, and slipped that into the pocket. And then I'm just going to go ahead and slip everything else in the pocket and call this spread done. It was a very simple one. I really just loved this Begin Story kit, and I love putting together these spreads from a kit. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.